I want to talk about how to permanently remove anxiety, stress, be completely uninhibited so that you can get work done on vacation, you can make sales calls without fear, and you can yap endlessly in front of the camera. So what a lot of people like, when you have a 9 to 5, when you have a job, you're working for somebody else, you never really think about this stuff too much. But when you have like a hot date, or you have to speak in front of 200 people, or you're starting your own business, you're starting a new exercise routine, or getting in the ring with a professional fighter, all of a sudden you get all this anxiety. And where does that stress come from? So I'm going to explain to you where anxiety comes from, where stress comes from, and then how to get rid of it whenever you want. And this is going to sound really complicated, but once you learn the trick, it's really, really, really easy. All right. So where does anxiety come from? And where does ego come from? Why do we get self-doubt? What's actually going on when we're going through this process? So imagine you are an actor, and you're an actor and you are in your bedroom, you're rehearsing lines for a play, and you're not really stressed. And then imagine you go to a movie or you go to a theater and you watch another actor and they're on stage and you're not really stressed. But all of a sudden, when all the lights are on you, and I don't know, it's New York City, there's a critic there, there's your friends there, maybe your significant others, maybe your ex is there too, everybody's there. And then all of a sudden, your heart starts beating, you start to sweat. Like, where does this come from? Where does that anxiety, or you're trying to close something that's high 5 or 6 figures. You're like, oh my God, you put your face in front of a camera, and then your throat, your tongue catches in your throat. You have no idea what to say. Why does this happen? Why? It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make logical sense. Here's what's really going on. Think about your attention. The most valuable resource that we have is our attention. We all know this, but we forget about it when we stop marketing and we have to deal with ourselves. We have to deal with the person in the mirror. Think about your attention is a spotlight, and you can't chop the spotlight up into little pieces. It must be somewhere, all of it, all of the spotlight. And the best actors and dancers, like I dated a professional ballet dancer for 4 years. They're either completely, and I mean completely self-absorbed. I read the Gelsey Kirkland book when she was one of Baryshnikov's girls, and he was horrible to her. Baryshnikov didn't even think that other people even existed. That's how you can be as an actor, as a performer. You can be so self-absorbed, and then you're just completely playing, you're in your own little world, and then you're bringing other people into it, but you're just completely absorbed in what you're doing. That works. And what also works is when you're so absorbed into the other person, into what you're trying to achieve, into who you're trying to help. Think about someone who's running 100 miles, and maybe their sister has leukemia, and they want to bring attention to her sister. So maybe after 30 miles, you're like, I'm done. After 40 miles, you're like, listen, there's only so much David Goggins I can play in my head. He's kind of annoying. I'm really done. But your sister has cancer, so you just do it for her. It just comes out of you. So content and sales and just all of the things that you have to do to move a business forward, it's exactly the same thing. It's that feeling in your chest where half of you're split in half, because half of you is worried about how is the other person going to perceive what I'm doing, and the other half of you is worried about what you're doing. So everything feels forced, everything feels fake, everything feels like you look at yourself, it's like you watch a video of yourself on like a date, you look like a bad reality TV star. You're like, what am I even saying? What am I doing? This isn't who I am. Why are we like this? You watch one of your sales call reviews, and I'm like, the reason is you're cutting yourself in half, and we can't reach our potential when we cut ourselves in half. You either have to be completely into what you're doing or just completely about the other person. You're so into the other person and into their customers, into what their business needs, that you disappear. So for me, I make videos for my wife and for my mom and for my favorite clients. I don't care about anybody else. So I just feel like I'm talking to them. What can I give to those people today? What can I give to my students today? And if you have that mindset, you cannot fail. Then all of the anxiety goes away because there's no one to feel it. You're either completely self-absorbed, Greek god, filming content, amazing, or you're so into the other person, all you want to do is help. You forget about the money, you forget about everything, and then you're free. It's not just about money, it's not just about having a successful business or being in good shape or having a good relationship. It's about just being free in your own skin, and that's how you do it.